Hello and welcome to Blasted Rock. Definitely one of the better maps. We're definitely missing it in the current rotation. This is a classic rack game between ToejamS and Tracktm02. Just refer to him as Track. Both playing as Aeon, so both Aeon cheaters. Of course, ToejamS has done some commentating with Red Dev. Some great quotes from him, and also he's given me this replay and a whole bunch of others. So thanks for that. Looks like he's going with 5 PGens, 2 Mask Strike, just a standard build for Blasted. It's all about where you put your engineers. Looks like his first engineer is going to pick up a couple Mask Extractors, go after this Hydros. Also in this early game, I'd like to say I'm on a link once again Guile's channel, so another commentator for Supcom. Really enjoyed his commentary. Hopefully he does some more, and people should definitely check it out. I think it's a little different from what I do, and makes a little focus on different things. Actually quite interesting. So now from ToejamS we got multiple flares coming out. He's got scouts, flares one direction, scout to the other side. And so far from Track, he's going with 6 PGens here. Actually only a single factory, very aggressive ACU, but a lot of power. And absolutely no rating from him. These 2 flares kind of being wasted by ToejamS. They should be more aggressive. One thing to note, Track really staying back at his base, choosing to reclaim rocks instead of expanding to the Hydros, and that makes sense. He had absolutely no protection. One engineer here from ToejamS expanding to the top. Looks like actually the ACU as well. So an engineer and ACU is going really strongly to the top, and so is Track. So we're going to see a big confrontation. Absolutely nothing going on the bottom. Just completely abandoned here at coming up on minute 3. I don't think I've ever seen a single unit go there. We do see now some flares, and actually both players do have the capacity to go there. And here's the scout actually occupying 3 flares. Bit of an overkill there from Track. And of course in the middle we got a whole bunch of mess. We'll see how quickly these players take the civs. This one thing to note, very good placement of a raider from Trackmate. You see most of the map, see any of the raids. And here we're going to see, looks like the point defense from Track is going to be faster. That's going to be a very good move, so Toad definitely should start shooting this instead of just building his own. Looks like he has realized it. This will be a bit of a problem. We should see Artie coming out from him. He already has some. And this is a massive flare. This is a whole bunch of flares from Track. It's not very clear why he's doing that. Outranged by Auroras, these could be massacred, but at this point, if he just rushed them in, you can do pretty much a lot of damage against ToejamS. Now we are seeing ToejamS going 4th air, the 3 land factories so far, and looks like 4th and 5th land from Trackmate, so a bit of a difference. We already see interceptors coming out from ToejamS, and here come the flares. They gotta move in. They will kill quite a few engineers. Of course, this flare force here basically one-shots these, and did a little bit of damage, and looks like Track is getting the advantage on the bottom here. Going back to the ACUs, multiple point defenses from Track's ACU. However, there is some artillery here that can start countering these. Track will try to attack this force. On the bottom, still total domination from Track, and a flare force coming in directly into ToejamS base. Toe in a little bit of trouble. Now Track forcing this force back for ToejamS. Actually thinking about attacking ToejamS base directly, and if these 2 attacks came simultaneously, it would be very big trouble for Toe. Now we are seeing Toe just sitting there getting hit by artillery. He needs to start dodging. He is. And our artillery together with point defense, very difficult to beat. Takes a lot of micro. Back at base we are seeing 5th air for Track, and looks like 4 land factories, 5 land factories. So 1 more land factory for ToejamS, but much less map control. And I don't see any point defenses here, so it's not clear why Track did not attack with his ACU but with his Aurora. It's a bit of a waste there. And we can see ToejamS being very defensive, coming back to his base. And here we see quite a bit of arty for both players here, and a full retreat for Toe. So Toe giving up both side bases. We've seen Track's ACU make it all the way around the map. Now he's going to fortify the bottom position. The top is completely taken by Track. He should send some engineers to pick up those free mask extractors. And let's see how Toe recovers. He might think about teching. He's definitely doing that. He does have quite a bit of wrecks from this attack from Track. And with this much RD, one of these players should think about taking the medal. Definitely Track. He has forces on both sides. Perhaps we'll see a counterattack from Toe. And Toe just rushed a gun. A very quick upgrade there. And of course, if it's a range, it looks like it is. That was a nice overcharge from Toe. The Auroras just get massacred when an ACU gets the right range upgrade. 2 shots per tank, and you get either versus an artillery, 150 health, or an Aurora, 140 health. 2 shots will get you 1 kill with the ACU. And actually, ToejamS going for yet another upgrade, so 2 upgrades with the ACU will be very powerful. And this force here from Track just sort of sneaking in, and it's a lot of artillery, so it'll kill factories extremely quickly. And now ToejamS has both guns, extremely good weapon. You can see elsewhere some walls being constructed. And the ACU for Track looks like he's got Tech 2. Making Tech 1 point defenses. We see a big attack here from Track, for ToejamS. But with the T2 ACU here, maybe a couple of T2 PDs, could be big trouble for ToejamS. Just with Tech 1, he might not be able to make a push, but yeah, now the ACU for ToejamS moving up. Looks like he will lose a Hydra. And I will see these Tech 1 PDs will be very good defense plus the Tech 2. And Toe will be able to hold on to this position. But on top with this ACU, ToejamS definitely has a chance to make a push. He needs to take care of this force of about 10 units. In terms of air, we do see now at minute 10, Track basically controlling air. Plenty of interceptors, more interceptors coming out for Toe. Interceptors coming out for Track. No T2 yet, except of course with the ACU. So now we are seeing basically double gun versus ACU in this Aeon and Aeon fight. In terms of map control, definitely the entire game Track has had the advantage. And Toe just losing that Hydra, big hit in terms of power. But one thing that ToejamS has had the entire game, all these multiple attacks from Trackmate, haven't really been able to damage his base except a couple factories. He's got a lot of reclaim from those dead units, and now we are seeing a T2 PD creep from Toe. And this is very dangerous. These T2 PDs, if they can get in range of the base, will just massacre. We do see now ToejamS trying to counter with his gun. You can see he's got the range, and a very unusual force from ToejamS. I guess he was kind of forced into it. It looks like more artillery than tanks. But very effective at taking out stationary targets if you're An. Now Toe retreating with his Tech 2 ACU. Back to his Tech 2 point defense. So a bit of a fight there. It looks like actually ToejamS was the winner. We get the benefit of quite a few wrecks, and up on top an attack from Trackmate, but that's going to run into point defenses. Plenty of good defense for ToejamS. So far a very good game. Very even considering this reclaim. And we're seeing multiple ghettos being constructed by Trackmate. At least 2 here. Looks like a 3rd coming out. So each one of these will have 6 flares. If it's 3, it'll be a total of 18 flares up in the air. Perhaps a little dangerous this late in the game, but Trackmate does know he has total air control. One thing to note about Track, he has not taken advantage of these mass extractors, has basically had the top controlled for the last 5 minutes or so. And after these ghettos, it looks like it's bombers. So it's going to be a big aerial assault from Track. And once again, another attempt at T2 point creep. If Track can get this built, it's a nice opportunity to try. ToejamS is attacking with his ACU. Really isn't too much defense here against these. You can see it's going to be multiple, so ToejamS got to react here. See, 1 shot, multiple kills. And here come the ghettos. So Trackmate's got multiple things going on. A T2 PD creep plus an aerial assault. Of course, all these Auroras really have no chance. Triple ghetto here. Absolutely massacre. More Tech 1 flag coming out. And at this point, ToejamS looks in a lot of trouble at 14 minutes. He's got to do something very big here to come back in the game, because absolutely no counter to this T2 point defense. We do not see any T2 factories. Actually, no, there's a T2 factories here. I take it back, and he is making the mobile missile launcher direct counter to these T2s, but actually these T2 point defenses are in range of this T2 factory, so if Track can kill that factory, ToejamS is very much screwed. Right now he's just standing there. He might start attacking the base. It would be a very dangerous thing to do with this air control. Couple wins there with this point defense from ToejamS. Now we are seeing once again artillery and missile launchers against T2 point defenses, and they are not firing, which is very, very strange. This does not make any sense why these units are not firing for Trackmate. ToejamS running a couple point defenses, goes down to 6,000 health with 31 kills now. You can definitely outrange any of these, and actually Trackmate choosing to retreat. This might be just the saving, and now we see these shooting. This factory should be dead here. Looks like there's some problems with the terrain. It's a bit of a hill. He's definitely able to hit this T2 factory, and looks like it will be finally killed. Although we do see some T2 mobile missile launchers. And up on top, ToejamS goes down quite low in health at 39 kills. A couple of well-placed T2 point defenses from Track. Track has really secure base now. Here comes a ghetto behind ToejamS base, drops off a couple flares, and these are going to start killing mass extractors. So good work there from Track. ToejamS really didn't waste any time taking these 5 mass extractors after the push with ACU, and now we are seeing the map control evening out. Minute 17. Amazingly, this T2 factory is still alive, and these T2 PDs are dead. So good work from this missile launcher. Actually, 3 kills. These are the 3 very important kills. This Hydra has also not been taken for most of the game by Track. You should definitely do that. And it looks like T2 point defenses all over the map for Trackmate. Of course, one thing to note with this T2 land that ToejamS now has, we're going to see these missile launchers make a push against these, and they will slowly disappear. So perhaps ToejamS should think about switching up the strat. These are going to be some very aggressive T2 point defenses from Track. It's going to cut off ToejamS expansion. Won't really be trouble killing those mass extractors. We are now seeing basically ToejamS surrounded by T2 mass extractors only in his main base. But Track's really got to get either shields or tactical missile defense here. And this will be a very nice counter from ToejamS. And these T2 PDs are going to work. This is a very nice drop here from Trackmate, actually forcing ToejamS to put a pretty big force in the back to prevent any more drops. And another push from Trackmate with a bunch of artillery attacking those missile launchers. And actually it looks like he was successful at taking them out. A nice move from Track. Another ACU for ToejamS is switching sides once again. Actually no, it looks like the missile launchers were just moved over, trying to prevent Trackmate from making these missile launch point defenses, and he's actually successful. So extremely good counter here. One of these actually has 7 kills. And it looks like we now see Trackmate first will make a bunch of missile defense before he makes any more T2 point defenses. Area is still controlled by Track. Still we are seeing now T2 land, a T2 power, a great target for a missile launch. T2 engineer here, T1 air. It looks like going T3 land for ToejamS. That's going to be very interesting. Still Tech 1 air, and no T2 power generators for Toe now at 44 kills. Kind of running into these T2 point defenses here. 7 kills for one of them, 11 for another. And here we are seeing these tactical missile defense from Aeon countering those mobile missile launchers. This gives Trackmate the opportunity to make a couple more point defenses, and now this T2 power gives a big luxury to Trackmate with these mobile shields. Each one of those takes out minus 125, and of course this makes plus 500, so 4 shields can be easily supported by Trackmate. And now this push is successful. We see slowly with these missile launchers T2 point defenses just disappear, and it once again map control is evening out. One thing to note, all these point defenses have been destroyed, so there is no reason not to go into the middle and pick up these really nice chunks of mass. See how long it takes these players to do that. And we really got to see one big difference between ToejamS and Trackmate in this game is the engineers for ToejamS have been much better. You can see how quickly he picked up those mass extractors, and it looks like Track is not even thinking about picking up that base, even though he has total control. And a very quick attack here from ToejamS, but perhaps he really needs to respect his base. 4 T2 PDs plus multiple missile defenses. We'll see how quickly Toe actually, yeah, he already has plans for taking these mass extractors as soon as he's taken that base, and a very large T1 force. And here's T3 actually making sniper bots here, minute 23 from ToejamS. Perhaps he'll self-destruct all these Tech 1 factories, follow his own advice, and spam T3, T4. You see his missile defense going to work. This engineer for Trackmate finally taking over that base. And a bit of a counter here with Obsidians and Blazes. So a bit of Tech 2 versus Tech 1 here from Trackmate. This Obsidian's extremely good, one shot any of these units. See 7 kills, probably 7 shots. These Blazes are very good as well. And the ACU for Trackmate now going down. Very good defensive position here from Track. But you should definitely make a couple more missile launcher defenses. And perhaps, yeah, more T2 PDs for Track. And we are seeing Harbies now in this force from ToejamS. That's really going to change the battle. Of course, T2 PDs are a nice counter to these, but this T2 force really stands no chance against the Harvey. Multiple Harbies now. We did see some snipers, but it doesn't look like we're seeing them. It looks like a 100% Harvey spam there from the T3 factory. We already see 2 of them on the field, a total of 13 kills between them. And an extremely good engineer once again here in the field of battle, trying to pick up some mass. And now a bit of an attack with Tech 1 units around the back. And exposed Hydra there. And I did just see a sniper somewhere. Not clear why Trackmate just doesn't take those free units out, running into the PD for no reason. The ACU for ToejamS looks like getting repaired. That's going to cost them a lot of power. And finally, engineer decides to wander into this base. Free chunk of mass. Where is that? You would see multiple snipers here from ToejamS. Doesn't look like they're actually able to. Yeah, they just took out the point defense. So they're really the only counter to these is shields. But a lot of damage per shot from those units. A very nice chunk, a whole bunch of mass here. Whoever can take control of this area, and of course, Trackmate making T2 point defenses plus missile launcher defense here at minute 26. So out of curiosity, after 26 minutes, ToejamS has reclaimed 11,000. Track only 3,400, and that's really the only reason ToejamS is in the game. Track has had more of the map for most of the game. Now some of these Harpies getting hit by T2 point defense. They do have this really nice shield, so they are surviving. And one thing about them, they can actually pick up these reclaims. That's one advantage that Harpies have over other units. ToejamS 44 kills, full health, both guns. T3 engineer now, multiple sniper bots. Looks like these shields are holding, at least for now. Well, I guess not. Perhaps we'll see some artillery, more snipers. So ToejamS choosing snipers over artillery in this one. Still no T2 power, all T1. That's really one of the reasons that we had a lot more air for Track. Looks like he is making a whole bunch of missile launchers, 4 missile launchers. Definitely going to be looking at a snipe. He has a very nice target, T3 factory, definitely a good target. Of course, ToejamS ACU a good target. But you can see a really nice situation here for ToejamS. Instead of standing still, he's patrolling. It's a very good, very simple thing to do, but really protects you. We are seeing some Tech 3. It appears, yeah, we do see Tech 3 from Trackmate. He has a Tech 3 engineer, and he also has some T3 artillery. I just saw some shells. And nobody's picking up this mass. Yeah, some trouble for this engineer, losing a lot of T2 point defense, trying to get a shield going. And here comes a snipe. See where that goes? There is a missile defense here. And a single missile defense here from Aeon can protect against multiple missiles. So good work there from this TMD. Yet another volley, but really to beat these, you want to shoot these one at a time. It's a very long reload time, so but it can act against multiple missiles. If You just launch one, then launch the other, launch the third. It'll block the first, but the other three will hit. And where is this Artie? I keep seeing it. Guess it doesn't matter, but I am blind. Is it like stuck somewhere? And now we are seeing Harveys from track here, minute 30. We can see these snipers extremely powerful from ToejamS, pushing Trackmate back, but of course these will be in a lot of trouble once these Harveys get there, plus some mobile shields. Another good way to counter these very low health is with artillery. Of course, one shell could take out quite a few of them. And one thing you don't want to do against them is just to put your forces in their range and not attack. And it looks like Trackmate won't make that mistake. He is charging against them, and ToejamS making the right move, retreating. A couple engineers are going to be slaughtered. It looks like, yeah, the Harveys are being pulled back. They try to counter ToejamS or Trackmate's Harveys. These will actually begin retreating. You can see the snipers have been put back. More missile defense from ToejamS. And here's the assault from the Harveys, but they run into tech 1 point defense. Nice defensive position here from ToejamS. Really no chance for Track. Couple nice chunks of mass. So far, very impressive snipers. And now, yeah, these missile launches have been very ineffective for Trackmate. He's got yet another powered T2 power generator, so a lot more power for Trackmate this entire game. The missiles keep on coming in, but really no chance. This is a good looking force with these snipers, plus the Harveys and a whole bunch of mass. Some Harveys moving in. This will be 5 versus 4, but a whole bunch of snipers as well. You can see that shield gets taken down very quick. One unit that's really good against Harveys, of course, is the Absolver. That's the anti-shield unit. Has very nice range as well. It'd be nice to mix it in with these snipers. Of course, these shields, it's multiple shields around that force. ToejamS has to respect, and he is retreating. Some reconnaissance from ToejamS. See a lot of T2 mass extractors here for Track. And do we see any T3? No, just T2 from ToejamS. A very big T3 land spam. And these shields keeping those Harveys alive. Somebody's got to pick up this mass. I mean, no excuse for Track not to do it. He's got all this secure with those T2 point defenses. Also a lot of mass here that he can easily pick up. Snipers for Trackmate as well. You guys seen just how effective they are. And of course the ACU with overcharge, very effective against that force. Not clear what Trackmate's hoping to accomplish here by sending these units in against the superior force. Left a lot of wrecks. So I guess the next thing we're either going to see some T2 air or something like that, or we might see experimentals, because T3 and T3 seems to be very even. Some of these Auroras doing good work. Unprotected Hydra can just sneak in and kill. And once again, map controls shifting in Trackmate's favor. And this chunk of mass, why is that still there, is not clear. And now it looks like the snipers are getting kills now for Track. ToejamS got to be very careful with his Harveys. He's got to get him out of the way. And one brave Harvey comes in, but most likely will be killed. Trackmate's ACU still just T2, 15 kills. ToejamS ACU actually standing outside of protection of the TMD, and these missiles are loaded. So if he's just standing there and Trackmate spots him, he can snipe him, but now ToejamS is moving. And here we are once again see ToejamS being very aggressive with his engineers. Looks like he's just repairing this, but picking up some mass as well. One very big difference in this game so far here at mid 37. A good Aurora, 2 kills already from Trackmate. And once again we can see these snipers just one shooting these Auroras. Not really much of a chance here with these Auroras. Not clear where they're going in. Still no engineers picking up that free mass from Track. More T2 point defenses for track, and yeah, Harbies for track, Harbies for ToejamS. So we might see a very big Harby fight here. We would already have something like 30 Harbies for each player if they didn't keep on fighting with 5 at a time. And of course, we got to say ToejamS with his ACU with the gun upgrade, a very good unit against T3 with the overcharge. One thing that could also happen, whoever can spam more power can spam more of these Aeon shields. Of course, we've seen many more for Trackmate. This can really be a big part in this game, but in that case we might see the Absolvers come in as well. Will we see an engineer pick up that mass? That's the question. A bit of an air fight, and actually it looks like ToejamS taking over air. That's the first T2 power generator now from Toe here at minute 39. And now the force is shifting over, the Harby force to the bottom from ToejamS. He can send his snipers here as well, outrange those G2PDs, and it looks like a shift to the force for Trackmate as well. So realizing he might be in trouble here, he is moving his Harbies down. Some of the Harbies for ToejamS getting too close, but getting away with it. How about an attack straight through the middle? That could also be a possibility from both these players. See the plans, looks like a bit of teching. This is actually a T3 mass extractor, so you get some mass storage around it. A T3 artillery now, first time we've seen that in this game. More Harbies for track, and of course T3 artillery against this base, if you can take out any of these power, be very valuable. We're now seeing a T2 air from track, perhaps some Mercies. Gunships would also be nice for raiding, although a very compact base here for ToejamS. We could almost say T2 air would be much better for ToejamS than for track. And we're now finally seeing some artillery. Actually, this is stationary artillery, very expensive for Trackmate. The artillery under shield is very powerful, and a lot of good targets for Artie inside ToejamS base. All these units packed so close together. You got to get some mobile shields and some power if you're ToejamS, so we'll be in a lot of trouble. Seeing multiple artilleries trying to fire back, but of course they gotta first break these shields, and they're definitely not going to do that. Not clear what the stationary RT is shooting at from track. Looks like yet another T2 factory here making mobile missile launchers. And maybe a bit of an assault now from track. He's moving in with his Harbies, trying to take out all these mobile missile launchers, trying to put pressure on these shields. It's a very good way to knock down shields. Looks like they were just massacred by these Harbies. A good response from track, but he really wants to stay far away. He doesn't want to get next to these point defenses. 20 kills on that Tech 1. Of course the ACU here as well. Now the Harbies moving in for ToejamS. Be a very big T3 fight, and great opportunity for overcharges for ToejamS. And a retreat once again for track. Now we are seeing this artillery from track doing a lot of damage. 8 kills for one, 5 for the other. More shields for track. And these Harbies, actually they are going to go in. No, getting hit by some T2PDs, they got to retreat. Trying to put pressure on those shields. If you can knock down those shields, then their artillery would do a lot of damage. We see mobile artillery for ToejamS. Not clear why these units are still alive with this already firing. Put a couple shells right there. Looks like a big assault now for ToejamS. A whole bunch of Tech 1. Of course, Tech 1 is nice. They get massacred, but they do take some shots away from the Harbies. Looks like the Harbies are going in, still the shields are staying up. This could be a very nice move from ToejamS. He's very much running Trackmate over. Trackmate trying to get some Tech 1 point defenses. Still some Harbies alive here with 5 kills. T2 point defense is still firing, and really only Tech 1 is left, but a lot of artillery knocking down all these units. So Trackmate should be able to hold on to this position, but he no longer will be able to attack. There's a lot of mass to reclaim for track now. A lot of kills for these Harbies that are still alive. At least 20 each. More shields now for track. Gotta get your Harbies behind. It's a very even battle there. Not a clear winner unless Trackmate chooses not to pick up all this mass. Then definitely the clear winner is ToejamS. 53 kills for his ACU. He's continuing to put on pressure with his mobile missile launchers. You can see the T3 already taking out TMD. Shield has been knocked down. Now back at base. T2 engineers, more Harbies, a lot more power. So Trackmate has so much more power. Harbies for Track attacking against the ACU, and of course with just 2 of them they won't be able to do much. 57 kills. 7 kills on this point defense, and looks like Track is giving up. He is retreating. And once again the bottom has completely been abandoned by both these players. That's pretty amazing. They just don't want to fight there. All they're doing is up here, all their focus. It looks like Track is going to try to rebuild a base, multiple shields, a lot closer to his base. His hope is really to prevent ToejamS from taking over this expansion and all this mass. So you can get a couple point defenses here, can prevent any movement from through this choke point. But now we are seeing the artillery doing a very good job against those Harbies. Really good looking force here from ToejamS. Is still living on a single T2 power generator. That's a huge difference. The middle at minute 47 still abandoned by both players. This has been around for about 20 minutes. Still abandoned, and down the bottom just a couple of Auroras patrolling. A lot of free land. Nobody cares about it. It looks like T3 Air now being pushed by Track. It looks like he's changing his this is actually a mass fab. That's amazing. Still only has T2 mass extractor, but already has a mass fab. Way too much power. And you can see that is costing his shields. So very strange decisions there from Trackmate. Of course this would make a great target for a bomb. Blow up all those 4 units would be a huge loss for Track. And these artillery, if they can move up here, they can definitely start hitting Trackmate's base, and it'll be very nice. We are now seeing the artillery. Excellent work. Knocking down these T2 point defenses. And if these T2 point defenses fall, you might see Harbies coming in through the back door against Trackmate's base. Trackmate trying to get more T2 point defense, but of course we are seeing ToejamS using his T2 missile launchers to put a lot of pressure on the shield. It's really much cheaper unit than a T3 artillery, but does a lot of damage at long distance. We are seeing our stores. This is very interesting now. Trackmate completely changing up his strategy, just making T2 flank with his T3 factory and making restores, and the restores are going after their artillery and being successful. You can see a lot of this already being killed very quickly. Just 2 restores now, 12 kills for one, 8 for the other, and as long as they stay away from T2 flak, they're going to get a lot of kills now. 4 restores. Excellent move from Track. He looked like he completely lost this game, but those restores are going to give him new life. And you see how quickly, as soon as those T2 point defenses are dead, finally, minute 50, ToejamS is going to pick up this mass. And nice micro now, 6 restores from Trackmate. And if you're ToejamS, you got to hide your ACU. He's got a whole bunch of arty around it, but with that many restores, they can kill you very quickly. A lot of flak, but you got to get under a shield if you're ToejamS. You can see flak killing these very quickly at the back door now. A lot of flak is shifting toward these, away from the ACU, so perhaps that's the strategy from Track. He can get all the flak to move away from the ACU and then attack the ACU. Some artillery still left over for ToejamS. He's trying to hit Trackmate's base, and of course this right here would be a huge disaster for Trackmate if some of these already can hit it. Strat bombers now coming in from Track. Looks like it hit right in front of this T3, and only one pass that was successful. Nice chunk of mass for ToejamS. So much flak here, you don't want to fly. These restores, so only 1 restore so far lost by Track. He still has 5 left, and this is only Tech 1 anti-air, so he can definitely kill all that if he wants. We're being very protective of these units. You can see they have a lot of kills. Track's still trying to get some shields up. This already keeps the pressure on. More Strat bombers now for Track. And this ACU now, ToejamS forgot about his ACU. Does not have any flak around it. So if these restores just come in around, sneak in, they could kill this ACU before these restores will be killed. You can see this flak very aggressive.
And this could be a nice move. Yeah, you gotta keep those restorers away. That was actually a nice move. Took a lot of health from those Strat Bombers against Tech 1. Get another Strat Bomber against Tech 1, but really a bit of a waste, flank over quite a bit of flak. But if Trackmate would just scout, he definitely seen ToejamS ACU. He knows he's all alone. You just gotta get your restorers around the map and kill him. That's really his only chance, because back at base with this massive force from ToejamS, now protected by so much flak, not much that Track can do. Definitely don't want to stand there. Not T3 engineers from Track. He should have just kept to the restorers. And now finally it looks like ToejamS is going to take away that opportunity to go underneath some shields. And Track really had this one. And at this point it looks very bad. It looks like Track once again switching to T3 land, but he is a bit of a disadvantage now, making Harbies losing his defensive position with the shields and a massive Tech 1 force. Moving in. Harbies forcing the flak back. And here come the Tech 1 units. There's some Harbies here at the back door. Restorers are going to move in as well. Not too much flak here, so Resties plus Harbies should be able to defend. Of course, here now we can see this T3 already move in a little closer and start shelling Trackmate's base directly. And that should be game over. That really should be game over. Now we're seeing shells hitting. And there's some Tech 1 already hitting this T3 mass fab. This may be the reason that Trackmate is losing this game. He did have a big advantage. This unit just makes no sense. But actually an excellent counter here with these Harbies and Restorers together. It's amazing. They just took out all this T3 already. I did not expect that to happen, but very quick Harbies now from Trackmate. It's good work, and suddenly Trackmate is no longer really losing. How quickly the Harbies can turn the game, that's very amazing. ToejamS, that was a nice overcharge to kills with that one, 59 kills. And once again Trackmate just throws away his advantage, but now here come the Restorers. This is not the time you want to send the Restorers in. Too much flak here. ToejamS might actually start teasing these. Still 5 of these alive. You see a lot of kills, but really low health. Good rating. And once again, both players just have their main base. Everything else is dead. Here coming up on 1 hour. See the Restorers. Nice micro. Getting around the base. Oh, actually running at some T2 flag. Good position on T2 flag. 2 Restorers die. So the original 6 that the Trackmate has built, only 3 survive. And those 3 are very low in health. Getting some kills, however. T3 shield now. Once you get this T3 shield, put your ACU under it. If you're ToejamS, you're relatively safe. But it's a very even game. Plenty of mass all over the place. Plenty of power for Track. Making more mass makers. That makes no sense. He still only has T2. Quite amazing there from Track. His economy decisions are very strange. Looking at ToejamS base, he's got a bunch of T3 mass extractors, so that's a little more orthodox. It makes quite a bit of sense. You see plus 27 mass for that, and only plus 12 for that, even though that's costing him minus 2,000, so that's taking up 4 of these power generators. Not very cost efficient. But he is still in this game here at 1 hour, so we'll see what happens. And just out of curiosity, after 1 hour, ToejamS got to have ridiculous reclaim, nearly 30,000, 6,000 mass in the bank. Actually, you could think about making a GC. And Track, only 6,000, so a factor of 6 difference, huge. Even though Track had so much opportunity to pick up a lot of mass, there's still a lot of mass. He still has that opportunity. Looks like purely Harbies now for Track. Harbies are actually countered very well by artillery, because the splash damage actually gets through the shield. Let's see if you can hit those while they're in a group. Also some sniper bots. You gotta keep those moving. Perhaps we'll see some GC or something like that from ToejamS. No, he's just making artillery. So it's artillery versus Harbies. And these Harbies, once again, kind of suicidal here. why are they doing that? There's big numbers for ToejamS. Well, if one of these players would try to take over one of these expansions, of course, very difficult to do. With all this artillery on the field, looks like a second T3 factory now for ToejamS. These Harbies just sort of putting pressure but dying, leaving nice wrecks for ToejamS, and he will pick them up. He's shown that he doesn't care. And now some hidden snipers in the middle, next to the original civilian. You see, artillery versus snipers. Big advantage for artillery. That has been there since the beginning of the game. After 1 hour, neither player picked up a chunk of mass. Restores back in the game here. You got to be very careful. But all of them are nearly dead, and shields not coming out. Now instead of that, if for 2000 you can get about 20 shields, a little less than 20 shields, mobile shields, make these Harbies basically indestructible. You could probably already have won the game if you're Trackmate. But these restores for Trackmate really turn the game for him, and he's still back in. Still big problems. Still very big problems, and now finally we are seeing more T2 power for ToejamS. If ToejamS catches up on power, and more restores coming out for Trackmate, forcing some of their artillery back. So the game here for Trackmate is to keep the artillery out of range of his base with the restores, but of course the simple solution for ToejamS is just to make a whole bunch of flak and lead with flak. Now this could be interesting. A whole bunch of shields together with Harbies moving in against Harbies, and they will have some success early on, but big numbers advantage for ToejamS, and yet more dead units for Track, and perhaps an attack around the back door from ToejamS. See a big T1 force. One thing to note, ToejamS is not following his golden rule that you should self-destruct all your Tech 1, Tech 2, and go with Tech 3, T4, so he is messing around. You shouldn't mess around. See the restores doing a lot of damage. These looks like they got it all the way around through the middle, and you can see all this dead T3 artillery from ToejamS. So this is one argument for why the health on these arties should not be boosted. They should be countered very easily. And you can see all that flak. That's way too much flak. It's so scary to the restores. And at this point, this counter will no longer work. This artillery will start shooting from the middle. Then it should be game over for Trackmate unless he has some good ideas. He's got T3 power and yet another mass fab. This is crazy. Mass fab restores and Harbies from Trackmate. And these restores actually taking the opportunity. A lot of the flak was taken out of the base. An interesting move there from Trackmate. You can see all the flak is there with the T3 arty. Trackmate putting pressure directly into the base, but choosing against it. Still some arty left over. And Toe really got to put his ACU right here underneath all those shields. Because if Trackmate realizes there isn't enough flak around this ACU, ToejamS will be very much dead. And this will be a massacre of restores. Why did he do that? A huge mistake from Trackmate. He just lost like 5 restores. It's one place you do not want to fly. And now we're seeing the beginning of the end for Track. Shells are beginning to fall onto his T3 factories. Restores are powerless to do anything. Trackmate realizes he's screwed and throws in the towel after 1 minute. After 1 hour and 7 minutes. Hopefully people enjoyed this one. Once again, people should check out Guile's channel with casts for Supreme Commander, and maybe we'll see some casts from ToejamS in the future as well. So hopefully people enjoy this one.